everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Nation. Do we have anything to discuss? Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much for popping by. Let's get right into it. We've got lots to get to. Let's see who was in first. Corey was in first, but said forced. Then he also had time to say first, but that was technically the second comment, but he was still the first guy in. So I'm going to give it to him today. I'm going to say Corey nailed that bad boy. Nice work. Don spelt it wrong. Jordan was second, but was third. Ryan and Brad were first. Dennis was first. All wrong. Ian was like 16th. At least Ian is a realist. Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Lots to discuss. No shortage of that right now. So if you have any questions or comments, of course, hit us up in the comments section. I will try to answer pretty much every single question I can. Nation Dan says, Dusty are back. What does that mean? I mean, Dusty is back? I'm very confused right now. If you have not checked out the Yamamoto goal song from the Smash It Nielsen show yet, I'm going to post that on my Twitter feed at Nielsen TSN 1260 coming up shortly. And then you can all share it and love it because it went over pretty well today. All right. Man, there's lots to discuss. Let's start with the hockey game last night. The first one without Connor McDavid. Dun, 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 dun. And it was fine. It was fine. It was a great start by the Edmonton Oilers. I love the fact that the Sheahan line came out and did something, right? And I know they fell behind after that. I get it. But they came out and made an impact early. And if the Oilers are going to have success without Connor McDavid, and you hope they do, if they're going to have success without Connor McDavid, it's not about the Draisaitl line, okay? The Draisaitl line will get theirs. They got theirs last night on the power play, even strength, whatever. They've been getting theirs for the last month. Nugent just 23 points in his last 18 games. Draisaitl's been on a ridiculous tear. He's going to run away with the scoring race. That line is going to take care of business. If the Oilers are going to have success with Connor McDavid out, three things have to happen. They got two of the three last night, in my opinion. One, you're going to have to get great goaltending. I really liked Mike Smith's game last night. Two, you're going to have to get at least a little bit secondary scoring. Sheahan line provided that early, but still, I didn't mind that. It looked like they had a little bit of chemistry. There's some nice plays being made. And then three, you're going to need Clefbaum and Nurse to lock things down. And that, I thought, was a little sketchy last night. 69 viewers, nice. But overall, that's if you can get to, actually, you know what, to be honest with you, if you can get 2 out of 3 of those three things I just mentioned, you're probably going to be okay when McDavid returns in March. So, very entertaining game to be at last night. I wasn't a great crowd, obviously, with the roads and the weather out here, but I decided to go check it out. I wanted to get selfishly, I wanted to get a look at Adam Boquist because I have him in one of my keeper hockey leagues, and I might have to use one of my RFA spots on him, and I wanted to see him. He scored. Actually, he's going to be good. He's going to be really good. I wrote some things during the game last night as well. Dan, if you can link up, throw my link in there from the article I believe was posted this morning. Just a bunch of different stuff from the game last night. Thoughts on McDavid and what's happening right now. Draisaitl's backhand, like the highlight of the game for me last night was watching that sick backhand sauce that Draisaitl put past like 3 Chicago Blackhawks. Yamamoto picks it up. If he buries it, it's the hat-trick goal. It would have been insane. But let's not forget that pass. That pass was absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. If the Oilers just take care of odd man rushes defensively last night, they cruise to a victory over what's not a very good Blackhawks team. And I think the reason is because their blue line's weak. Like Jonathan Toews looked great last night. I thought Jonathan Toews looked as good as he's ever been. Pat Kane is going to put up 90 points, at least this season. And both of their goaltenders have actually been pretty good so far. So I like that. As I wrote in the article that Dan just pinned, the Sheahan, Cassie, and Archibald line is intriguing to me because once this group is healthy, if you can find another winger to play with McDavid and Neal, then all of a sudden your top 9 are the Draisaitl line, the Sheahan, Cassie, and Archibald line, and then Neal, McDavid, and fill in the blank. 2 games we can play here. 1, they trade for the blank. which they might do. And then 2 is they try to find somebody to fill in that blank from within. Is it Alex Chiasson? Could you say, you know what, Chiasson, you scored 20-some last year. Chiasson, McDavid, Neal. Not great, but possibly the best option of what they could have moving forward if Ken Holland doesn't click, pull the trigger on a deal. So Sheahan's line, I liked it. There's some jump there. I thought that was one of Cassian's best games in a little while. So that was important. That was an important one. As for McDavid's quad, I mean, we'll see what happens. Could it be less than 2 to 3 weeks? Sure. Could it be longer than 2 to 3 weeks? Maybe. Could it be the rest of the season? Who knows? I mean, we're going to have to see how this thing plays out for Connor McDavid. It's a horrible time for this to happen, but they still have the league's leading scorer in Leon Draisaitl and one of the lines that has been one of the best in the National Hockey League since it was put together. So that's a possibility. Randy says, move Yamo up to play with Connor. I don't think so. I think you leave that line where it is. Daryl says, so no more Cassian on the first line? I'm not saying you're sure. I mean, if you want to put Cassian back up with Neal and McDavid, that would be fine too. Because I think Archibald and Sheahan could probably make somebody else work on that line too. Probably not Sam Gagner, just because Cassian provides that same sort of speed as Archibald. But that's going to be a tough one. If they don't find another winger to play with McDavid and Neal, assuming they're both healthy in March, then maybe Draisaitl goes back up there and you try to work somebody else in. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing Haas play on the wing with Sheahan and Archibald, just because he has a little bit of speed. I don't know. What's going on with this couch? What's happening with the couch? Why is there so many comments about a couch? Somebody please tell me what's happening to the couch. Am I being trolled here? I'm in on the couch auction. I'm here for the couch auction. What is going on with the couch auction? Did I tweet something? I'm completely out of the loop right now. I didn't tweet anything about a couch. Is this a new bid online? Has the auction started yet? What is... Okay, somebody tell me what I'm missing. Pookie said there's a couch auction here. What is going on? Is somebody else's comments merging in here? Like, what is happening? With that being said, I have 3 couches in this house, and I'm not selling any of them. Steve says, if the Oilers can go 500 on this road trip, it'll be a success. Okay, what is going on with the couch stuff? I I appreciate the comments, but I have no idea what's going on. I feel like until somebody brings me in the loop, I'm just going to ignore everything that's happening on that front. So yeah, McDavid, you can't do anything about it. You just have to hope that what they've told us is legit, and and he's back within like early March, hopefully. I have no idea what's going on right now. All right, so Tyler Benson got called back up. Where does Tyler Benson fit in to the Oilers lineup now that he's been brought back in? I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't sure that they do this because whoever got called up right now, there'd be a little bit of pressure because you're the guy who got called up when McDavid got hurt. With that being said, Colby Cave's already here. Patrick Russell doesn't do anything. What else are they going to do? Which is why this all kind of ties into the Nygaard extension. Because as good as the blue line looks in the future, the forward group doesn't have a lot of guys knocking on the door. Like there's not a Bouchard up front. Nothing against Tyler Benson, but I'm not even sure Tyler Benson is in the lineup to start next season. So when I saw the Nygaard extension, I first thought, well, he's got 3 goals in 33 games. Is it really worth it to get that done? But it's a very affordable contract. Okay, that's number one. 2, it's a guy with speed in the bottom 6 that obviously both Tippett and Holland like, or else they wouldn't be bringing him back next year. And if they can get, like I said here, who's next? Josh Archibald, okay? If you can get Josh Archibald back at 1 or 1.1, so then you're paying him and Nygaard $2 million total. You want Riley Sheahan back as your 4th line center. I'm going to write an article maybe tonight using the new Puckpedia GM mode and kind of see what this lineup looks like next season, because I think they might end up having like 6, 7, 8 million to spend on a, whether it be via trade or in free agency, on a winger and a center. So that might be something that they can look at. So we'll see what ends up happening on that front. Sheahan, Cass, and Archie had chemistry, look good last night. Trade Larson for a decent winger in the summer before the deadline. Yeah, you don't want to move Larson before the deadline. Like, if this is a team that's going to be in the playoffs this year, Adam Larson will bring you value in the postseason. With that being said, in the offseason, if you want to flip Larson for the winger and then just elevate Bouchard in the lineup and obviously put more on Ethan Bear, then you can spend a little bit more in a winger because you'll be moving Larson's money as well. So it's good to have the Nygaards. Hopefully the Archibald. I would have to think Archibald's getting an extension here as well. I don't know how much of a bump he'd want. He's basically on like the same pace as he was last year. He's going to get you double-digit goals, 12, 13 goals. It's going to kill penalties. Maybe you say, hey, man, nice season. Here's another 150 grand and you're making 1.15. It's not going to kill him, but it's definitely going to help things out, I think. So I would think Archibald's next, and I could see Sheahan getting done as well. I'm not too sure what ends up happening with Gaetan Haas. Like, I don't think that you can just have everybody. I don't think you can have everybody in the mix here at the same, like, you can't bring back the whole team. Like, Sam Gagner, maybe a 13 forward. I'm not 100% sure there. Gaetan Haas. In an ideal world, actually, to be honest with you, if you can move Jujhar Khaira and maybe Alex Chiasson and those a commitment again for next year and open things up to spend a little bit of money and bring in some new faces, some guys with maybe more speed than those 2 guys, that might be what you want to do. I could see that. I could see that happening for sure. Stuart says, I don't hear anything. I think the audio is still going just fine. I haven't changed anything. I have no idea what's happening with the couch comments. Dan, we'll have to check in on that later. Focus. Couch auction. Start. I think there's 2 videos and the comments are being merged on both of them, which is insane. I mean, I'll auction off a chair if you want, but I don't have a couch. I don't have a couch. Hey, how about Bob Stauffer's tweet about Tony Slepyshev? The Oilers still own Tony Slepyshev, and he's having another nice year in the KHL. Could they bring back, like, this is what I'm talking about. If you can move Chiasson or you can move Jujhar Khaira or free up 2 or 3 spots, maybe you can convince old Anton Slepyshev to come back for another year. 35 points in 48 games in the KHL this year. He had 25 and 56 last year, so he's definitely having a better season than he was last year. So I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by that. Like, maybe Tony Slep and Jesse Puljujarvi both come back next year. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Stuff's kind of in the loop. So I could see him thinking that, like, maybe there's some speculation that they're going to at least talk to Tony Slepyshev and see if he's willing to come back. But that's an interesting one for sure. No doubt about it. All right. That's going to do it, because I'm a little confused about, well, what about Cody Eakin next? Yeah, well, you know what? We'll have lots of time to get to targets for next year, and watch for that article. I'm hoping to have time to put it together tonight to take a look at what they've already committed to with the Cassians and the Nurses and the Nygaards, and what they might have to pay Archibald and Sheahan, and then what will they have left to work with. So we're going to get into that a little bit, and we'll probably discuss that on Friday if I can get that article up maybe tomorrow morning. So we'll work on that as well. That's going to do it for Inside the Nation and the couch auction today. Thank you very much for watching. And we will be back. Oh, by the way, 2 guys and a goalie tomorrow at noon. Huge guest. Was a part of the organization for a very, very long time. That's all I'm going to say. But we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. We're going to have a guest in studio with us and 2 guys and a goalie at noon. Streaming live on Facebook, the 2 guys and goalie page, and shared all across the nation. Really, this is by far the biggest guest that we've had. I'm really looking forward to it because I know he's got some great stories. So we're going to do that tomorrow. 2 guys and a goalie at noon on Thursday with myself, Joaquin Gage, Matt Cassian, and our special guest who we will reveal tomorrow morning before we get the podcast going. All right. So thank you very much for watching Inside the Nation. We'll break down that game against Tampa on Friday right here on the Oilers Nation Facebook page. Dan, I love you. And good luck to everybody on the couch auction.